Hello again everybody and welcome back to my Druid Archer Let's Play featuring Araelas and his best buddy Bjorn, the big bad bear. Some alliteration to tickle your eardrums at the beginning of this episode. Okay, so how about a really quick recap of what happened last episode? Well, we finally got around to killing the Guardian Wolf as part of Kyne's Sacred Trials. That triggered a transformation in Araelas. As William said, it turned him into a horny devil. Well, he's at least half right. He just calls him as he sees him, so I guess he ain't wrong. So that actually signaled his final evolution in his journey to becoming the ultimate Druid Archer, or the agent of nature, so to speak. He became a lot stronger, a lot more in tune with nature, and that manifested physically, as you can see with the antlers on the head. He's got some more muscle mass to him, and he's got a little bit of a beard there, being the mountain man that he is. So, after that, he decided to go take care of Valder's hunting party, which he sensed was stranded at Moss Mother Cavern over here. And when he got there, he felt a very familiar energy coming from within the cave. And sure enough, when he went in there, he came face to face with the Spriggan once again, or the aspect of the forest, as we have been calling her. And he had a bit of a lengthy conversation with her. It turned out that it was because Araelas strayed from his path of life and love and being a champion of nature. He kind of went to a dark place. The forest could not abide something like that. If anything deviates from being a champion of life and love, the Spriggans can not associate with that. So they ostracized him, basically. They said goodbye to him. Oh, that hunter's cache is not looking so great, is it? It looked great from this angle, but now from this angle... Alright. We're just gonna have to suspend our disbelief like the hunter's cache is being suspended in midair there. That's okay. Where was I? So yeah, the conversation with the Spriggan. The Spriggan welcomes Araelas back now that he's sort of righted his path, and told him that the dragon priests are actually what is raising these Draugr in these old Nordic tombs, and their goal is to resurrect the dragons. Now anybody who's familiar with Skyrim and the lore of Skyrim and the main quest in the vanilla game knows that Alduin was sent forward in time, and he was sent to this timeline, and it was him who started resurrecting the dragons. But we're going to take some liberties with the story here. We're going to do our own thing, and we're saying that it's the dragon priests, the undead dragon priests, who are trying to revive the dragons in order to rise back to prominence in Skyrim as the dragon cult. So Araelas is definitely going to want to stop that. But first, this episode, we're going to need to make our way back to Froki's Cavern, or Cabin, Froki's Shack, all the way back here in the Rift. And tell him that we have completed this trial, and see what he has to say about it. There's a bit of a surprise. I think people familiar with this quest know what you get as a reward for this, but I've made my own twist. I've made my own twist to make this reward a little better, and we'll go over that as soon as we get there. So yeah, we got a bit of traveling to do here, and I think I have a few things I want to go over on the way. So I'm not going to cut the episode or the video just yet, but I do. Sorry, I'm trying to get my Reynos' fins. I don't have that activated. Excuse me here. There we go. Makes us swim real fast. Boom. And we're off like a wet bullet. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to do. Araelas has been busy, or actually I've been busy playing with Araelas since the last episode. In fact, we have maxed Araelas out on his levels of pretty much everything. Well, except for destruction magic. I don't know how I missed that, but that's not going to get me to level 59 either way, and we're not going to use destruction anyway. So that's fine. Araelas is max level now. We are entering what I consider to be his end game at this point. I am going to, well, I'm sorry. I have actually cranked up Araelas's skill gain multipliers using the uncapper, and I cleared out a few dungeons and did a few quests that were inconsequential to Araelas's storyline here. And that was enough to level up everything that Araelas uses to get to his max level, since I don't have legendary skills activated for this profile. Now, that doesn't mean that the Let's Play is going to end. I just wanted to get to this point so that, well, once we reached the final transformation of Araelas and we completed Kyne's Sacred Trials, I wanted that to kind of mark the end of Araelas's journey in terms only of gaining strength. He is at full power now. This is as strong as he is ever going to get, in terms of both story and in terms of gameplay. So, that's how I achieved that. I unlocked a few perks, and we'll go over those as they become pertinent. What else have I done? I've also unlocked the master level and expert level magic, and I will show those off as we get there too. But the other thing that I wanted to do here on our way was to address feedback from the last episode. First of all, thank you very much for the feedback. I appreciate every bit of it because I want to improve as much as possible. The first big bit of feedback came from Traliant. I believe she said that she actually made a great suggestion on how to make the Spriggan more understandable in the future. That was something that I was actually concerned about when I was doing the post-production on that episode. But by the time I heard it, I thought that it was understandable enough. But it might just be my own personal perspective on it because I had to write the script for that scene, and then I had to actually record the dialogue for it 3 different times and then listen to it several times in post-production. So by that time I knew the dialogue like the back of my hand, and there was probably really no way that I was ever gonna misunderstand what was being said there. So my view was probably tainted by my overexposure to that dialogue. But that's good. I actually like the otherworldly effect that the Spriggan's voice had. And I actually like the idea that maybe the voice itself would be hard to understand for the common ear. Araelas's ear is not common, however. I think he would understand Spriggan perfectly. In fact, in their first meeting, I think I said that they didn't really communicate verbally, but they communicated through a series of like feelings and emotions that were transferred between the two. And obviously, in sort of a cinematic perspective, that is really, really hard to convey. You can do it narratively, as I said in that episode, but really you can't portray that in any kind of cinematic way. So I like the idea that the dialogue would be hard to understand because it is really so alien and otherworldly. At least the mode of transportation is. So I think what I'll do in the future is I want to keep the effect the same. I don't want to make it too easy for human ears to process. So I think what I'm going to do in the future is stay with that effect. Probably not going to change much in the way of how I recorded it and how I edited it, but I think I will try to find some creative way of putting subtitles up on the screen as she's talking. What was that? That was an interesting noise, eh? Let's just make sure we have our arrow ready just in case. And I'm going the wrong way here, aren't I? I meant to go through this pass here. To end up at Froki's shack in the rift through the mountains there. That's okay. I got all kinds of time. And I can always edit this out in post-production. Oh, this is what happened. What the hell's going on out here? Is this a Stormcloak attack? Okay, not my fight. Oh, wow. This is interesting, huh?
Whatever you need.
Girder is a Stormcloak sympathizer, so I guess she tried to fight alongside the Stormcloaks as they came through. Wow, I honestly have never seen this before. That's really cool. Uh-oh. That guy must be heartbroken. Wow, I can't believe I witnessed something like this. Sometimes Skyrim is a buggy mess that is not worth the trouble, and sometimes it throws things at you that are just amazing. If I had to guess, I would say that this was part of immersive patrols. I don't know why there's only one Stormcloak soldier here, but
Let me stew. Alone.
Alright. Alright, Skyrim, you got me again. That was awesome. Anyway, this isn't Araelas' fight, so we're gonna... As much as he loves Riverwood, we're gonna let it be for now. Oh boy. Yeah, so I was saying, I'm probably going to try to find some creative artistic way to implement captions or subtitles through the dialogue, just so that it's easier to understand, but not any easier to hear, if that makes sense. What else? Oh yeah, so after I watched the episode, I was a bit disgusted at myself with how many ums and uhs I was making use of, and I am already doing that too much right now. So I am making a real effort to tone down the uhs and ums and just kind of have like a natural stream of language, natural conversational tone here. And I realize that a natural stream of language is not a conversational tone, but I'm working on it. I really don't have a whole ton of experience recording my voice. I'm doing the best that I can. It's only going to get better with practice. The problem with being a middle-aged professional with a job and a wife and a dog and family and everything that take up a lot of your time is you don't have as much time when you were younger to dedicate to your hobbies like video games and things like that. Not necessarily a bad thing, just you don't have the time anymore to throw yourself into improving at new things. But I'm doing my best. The more that I do it, the better I will get, I promise. So I'm going to focus on being better there. What else? I thought there was one more thing, but I can't think of it now. So yeah, maybe I'll just go ahead and cut the video here, and if I think about it, I'll cut back, and if not, I will see you closer to Froki's shack. Okay, so I also remembered the other piece of feedback that I wanted to address, And it's not really feedback, and it doesn't really concern this series at all, but I got asked when Chemical Whispers is going to start. Chemical Whispers is the trailer for my new Alchemist. Oh, what's this?
Alright, hand over your valuables, or I'll gut you like a fish.
For my new Alchemist character?
Nice try, but you don't scare me.
Yeah, well,
Not gonna
that's
ask
too bad
again.
for you.
Don't you?
Oh, too strong for you. Okay, so I'll finish that thought. Chemical Whispers is my new series for my Alchemist Specialist. It is a character concept based around alchemy. And that probably is another week or two away, if I'm being honest, for a couple of reasons. One is that my brother is coming in from out of town. I have to host him for a week or so. And so I'm going to have very limited time to play, either recording or otherwise. So there's that. That's gonna be an obstacle for production. Not that I'm not looking forward to it. I totally am. I love when he comes to visit. We have a great time. But I just won't be playing much Skyrim. I won't be editing many videos. I won't be recording much. The other part of that is I need to get that character to a certain point before I start recording him. The nature of an alchemist character is that 90%, at least until you reach the end game, 90% of the gameplay revolves around, probably even closer to 99% of the gameplay revolves around gathering ingredients, experimenting with those ingredients, mixing potions. Most of the potions that you mix are just to level your alchemy skill. You don't actually end up using them, so you end up doing a lot of back and forth between your alchemy station and the different major holds around Skyrim to sell off the potions that you've made to buy more ingredients. It's just not something that lends itself very well to interesting viewer related content. So yeah, that's going to be much like how Araelas is in his endgame phase right now. That series is going to be pretty much focused on Alcunil's endgame. And I am running CACO, which is the complete alchemy and cooking overhaul. So that really adds a lot to the ingredients that are available and the gamut of alchemical effects that are added. So there's a lot there to experiment with and discover. So that's going to take a while. I will say that that character is up to level 34 already, I believe. And in the next week or two, I'll probably have him ready for action. The second part of that is that it's not really going to be so much of a character progression series as this one has been. We're not going to really follow... Okay, I need to get back around here. It looks like I might be able to get around these mountains here. It's not going to follow a character's journey through his evolutionary phases, much like Araelas was here. It's not going to be a journey of falling from grace and redemption like Blodius's. It's very much going to be, here's this character, here is his background, and here's his story going forward. And in the meantime, I hope to show off some great, interesting, high-level gameplay focusing on a lot of poisons and potions that are available to an alchemist-centric character if you have the patience to level him up all the way. I know that a lot of people might think that alchemy is sort of a dull way to play this game, just because, like I said before, it mostly involves, for the bulk of the early part of the game and up through the late part of the game, just gathering ingredients and mixing potions. But if you really put yourself in the headspace of that character, finding new ingredients and unlocking new effects from those ingredients and figuring out new potent combinations that you can put together in a single potion or poison becomes pretty exciting. Okay, I think I'm on the right track now. Froki's Shack, I think, is just right up here somewhere. So I've had a lot of fun with it, even though it's not something that I would put up on YouTube as a source of entertainment for anybody else. It has been a blast for me. And we will still definitely go over the character's personality and his tendencies, his traits, and things like that. And I'll be trying to take things that already happen in the game and put a new spin on them, just like pretty much all of my other series. Put a new spin on them based on that character's unique... Wait, this is my Hunter's Cache. This is my old one. Nice. Based on that character's unique perspective on the world and the events of the game as witnessed by that unique character. Okay, so here we go. The long-awaited... it shouldn't have been that long. I took an unwanted detour there toward Riverwood for a second there. So yeah, the much-awaited reunion with Froki. Let's see what he has to say.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, I've defeated all the Guardians.
Maybe you're not so soft after all.
Yeah.
Now you're ready for a real challenge. I'll anoint you with the symbol of the bear, the saber cat, and the mammoth. Tread carefully. These are mighty beasts. Here's where you need to go.
Okay, so in true Skyrim fashion, he's given us another quest just when we thought we were done. So let's go take care of these quests, eh? So let's see where we're going on this. Guardian Bear, Guardian Mammoth, and Guardian Saber Cat. Well, now that we are the apex predator of Skyrim, we should have no problem taking these things down, huh? Okay, so we have one just north of Whiterun over here. We have one back in the bowels of Falkreath. And we have... Where's the third one? All the way up here in Winterhold. Wonderful. Okay, so before we go hunting those, I want to address this Hunterborn quest. So we finally got a strange wolf claw, which we fashioned into a bone ring of the Urite. And when we put it on, we get a vision. Placing the ring on your finger, you are suddenly gripped by a vision. Clear water from an underground spring forms a pool in a small cave split by a natural earth bridge. Dusty air blows in from the cave's mouth. The vision abruptly ends. So this ring is telling us to go somewhere. This is the hidden quest provided with the Hunterborn mod. The quest that I've been talking about that most people don't even know about. So I am excited to show it off because you know what? I haven't been through the whole thing either yet. What time do we got? 3:43. We have time to go check this out. Now, unfortunately, this quest is incredibly vague. It doesn't provide any... Oh. Hello there, friend. It doesn't provide any quest markers. The clues that it does give are vague at best, as we've seen. But there are guides. There are FAQs that you can follow. And that's exactly what I'm doing, because there's no way I'd be able to figure this stuff out on my own, as you'll see as we progress. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and cut the video here, and we will pick it back up once we're ready to go. Okay, so here we are at a place called Clear Spring Tarn, which I would say matches pretty well with the description of the clear water. Now, if we continue searching around here, we should be able to find a cave somewhere. A cave with dusty wind blowing in from the outside. We definitely have some hunters over here. But no caves so far. Aha! Not on the map. Was not an easy place to find. Okay. Bjorn will catch up. Oh, imp stool, another valuable ingredient that I am really resisting the urge to not pick up. Okay, cave trolls. Now, these guys are not one of the creatures that we are allied with. Okay, so you'll notice a few things going on here that wasn't going on before. Oh wow, it's really hard to see in here, isn't it? First of all, we have, ooh, what's this? The Bow of the Hunt. I believe this is added in by Hunterborn as well. Let's go ahead and pick it up, see what there is. Animals take 20 points of extra damage. Alright. That would be useful for a hunter. And an archery skill book. How about that? Okay. So, as you can see, we have a few new effects going on here. First and most prominently, we have King's Heart added. And we have hooked that up to Potato's Recital. Okado's Recital, actually. I like to call it Potato's Recital because it sounds funny. So that is triggered every time we enter combat, and what that does, it's a restoration skill that is a slow light that kind of follows you around, and it heals you 22 points per second, but it also, this is the big one, is it fortifies most of the skills that you have, especially in combat, by 15%, which at this level is no small thing. So we actually have an uncapped 200 level archery skill, and adding 15% of that is like having 230 archery skill, which does a pretty good job of adding that much more damage, that much more punch to your bow and arrow. Now the other thing, that weird like earthy explosion that happens, that is another higher level spell. That's an alteration spell called Talons of Nirn, I believe. So what that does is anytime an enemy within a certain range gets staggered, they're thrown up in the air. And enemies will get staggered quite a bit because I am also hooking up Perilous Path to my Lion's Arrow. So very frequently, periodically in combat, every time I shoot my bow, those spikes will come out of the ground and stagger enemies. But if that enemy gets staggered and they're within a certain radius to us, they will get thrown in the air because of that that spell that we just showed off. So those are the two new things that we're hooking up there. So we're going to go ahead and process this troll. Okay, now, at this point, we got to make sure that ring is still equipped. And then if we equip that ring, and we dress this deer, we should get the next clue. Well, that didn't quite work, did it? Alright. Okay, so that actually did work. And this is cryptic as ever. But somehow, mysteriously, this new bone has been placed in our inventory. I don't think that the notification for that showed up. In the top left of the screen when I was cleaning these animals, but there it is. Now what that does is it enables further rings to be crafted. So now we have the ability to create a bone ring of the Elmrite from a strange bear claw, and a bone ring of an oakrite from a strange cat claw. So we are sort of roadblocked until we get these things. So this is the first step of the quest completed. And mind you, I have no idea how this ends, so it can be completely anticlimactic, but for now, we are looking for a strange bear claw and a strange saber cat claw. Okay, so here we are stalking the guardian bear, I believe. Yes, we are very close now. And not our guardian bear who is Bjorn. But this weather is really inconvenient for hunting a mystical animal, don't you think? But seeing as how Araelas is now a master druid, I think he might be able to do something about this. Oh, so much better, right? Okay, now let's see where this big ghostly bastard is. No offense, Bjorn. Oh, there he is. Oh my gosh. Alright, he's coming at us. Where'd he go? Okay, so these guardian animals are not going to give us the benefit of the doubt anymore, I believe. Ooh, a snow bear pelt. Fancy. It looked like he attacked on sight, and he... Ooh, what's this? Father of the Nibbin. Let's go along with the daughter of the Nibbin, which we found earlier. What is the rest of this? Staff of Dragon's Teeth. Alright. Very interesting ritualistic circle here, huh? Yeah, so as I was saying, they don't seem to be stalkable because they don't appear until they are just attacking you. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting challenge, but I think Araelas is up to the task. And what's this strange thing over here? Shrine to Talos, eh? Okay, we'll leave the offerings there. Okay, so on to the next target. Oh, here's that big, hairy, ghostly mammoth. Alright, we got the full ensemble going after this guy. Alright, that actually didn't take long at all. Many hands and all that, I guess. Okay, that was actually the one I was most concerned about, but we took care of it just fine, didn't we? Araelas in his own personal animal kingdom. Okay, on to the next one. Well, that's quite the sight, isn't it? You know, Winterhold being one of the bleakest landscapes in this game, with the right weather mods and the lens flare and the E&B and majestic mountains installed, this can be one of the most beautiful places in Skyrim, in my opinion. Okay, so we might get some trouble here in the form of necromancers, so we gotta be on our toes. Not seeing. Okay, yeah, there is a skeleton sentry right up there. Let's see what we can do about him. Who's next? Yeah, alright. Go, we got the wolf after him there. Got Bjorn bringing it to the necromancer there. We've got the spirit animals bringing it to some sidekick over there. And we got one more skeleton left to take care of. I think that's it, yeah? There might be some folks inside too. So let's go ahead and check that out. Yeah, Lunar Familiar made quick work of that skeleton. Who else we got in here? Anybody home? Oh yeah. This guy's home. Good luck with that, lady. Here we go. Now the whole being flung into the air when staggered thing, I don't think the physics work too well. At least they haven't in my experience. That whole flung into the air thing seems to, more often than not, just manifest as just a normal knockdown. So I think that's what you're going to see more often than somebody flying through the air like a Superman. So this was a bit of a detour on our main quest, but you know, something tells me Araelas doesn't mind killing a few undead or those who are trying to further enable the undead or raise the undead. Arch Necromancer sounds powerful. Probably is also very tasty. Oh yeah, look at those stat buffs. I like it. And let's see, I think there was another... Yes, an Archconjurer. Yeah, his loot wasn't as good, but we'll take it anyway. Okay, so I think that's it for this place. Did I clear that? No, it's still not cleared. Alright, I'll take one more look at the upper levels up there. The captain's quarters. I don't remember there being any enemies in this place. But maybe just going through it real quick will be all that it takes to truly clear this place out. Or maybe it's because one of the Civil War factions comes in and takes this place over after it is cleared, so maybe it just never officially goes to cleared status. Ooh, we can definitely use the salts. We don't want a bloody knife. Alright. So that's it, anyway. Araelas is done. Let's continue moving on toward the Guardian Sabercat out here in the icy tundra of Winterhold. Ah, that's why we're not cleared. Crumble in my path. I also forgot that I need to be checking for ancient Nordic arrows here for my frost arrows. And there's one more skeleton up here that I didn't loot. Here we go. There's the good stuff. Okay, now for real. Gonna go find that Guardian Sabercat. Ice Rays. Two of them at once. Boy, they're hard to hit, aren't they? I don't want to harvest the snowberry because green packed, but I can get the rest of that. Ice Wraith Essence is actually a nice little option to boost frost resistance for a Bosmer who is observing the green pact. Because Ice Wraiths are not plant-based. So you can use their ingredients, and you can use their essence. There we go. Oh my gosh. What happened here? Is that Bjorn? Alright. Guys, we got other... more pressing matters here. Stop fighting amongst yourselves. Okay, Bjorn's at it again. Ah. A little closer. As we've been through... Oh my gosh. Is that actually my King's Heart that I disabled? Oh, this is going to be a pain, isn't it? Okay, I think I got him this time. As we've been through before, Bjorn tends to get a little aggressive now and then. But that's okay. A quick enable or disable and enable Clears him right up. I thought there was another ice wraith. Yeah, there's another ice wraith. There are 2 frost trolls over here and an ice wraith. I think if I were going to do this character concept again, I would do it with probably CACO, as I've mentioned before, and I would explore a little bit more alchemy with this character, just to see how far I could go while sort of still observing the Green Pact. There seem to be, with Hunterborn and CACO, there are a lot of ingredients that do some great things that are not plant-based. Excuse me. Wetting the whistle a little bit. And I think it fits the character concept really well, to be able to sort of make little chemical boosts out of the things that he's finding on animals and even people in some situations, especially considering he is a cannibal. Okay, so once we get done processing these animals here, I think we're actually really close to our final guardian entity. So I'm not sure if this saber cat is up here on the shelf or down there on the beach. Something tells me we're going to find out very shortly. Are those wisps or ice wraiths? Those are wisps. Okay, I think wisp mothers count as undead. So this is something that Araelas would definitely be sensing, first of all, and also want to do something about. There she is. Oh, there it goes. There goes that Talon of Nerd. Too easy. What's she got? Awesome. This is a busy area, isn't it? Alright, how close are we? Alright, does indeed look like the saber cat is down here somewhere. There he is. And there he goes. Looks like some horkers softened him up for us. Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and... yeah, you know what? Maybe just get some meat off of one of these horkers. I don't think they give us anything too great in terms of ingredients here. Yeah, just tusks and bones. We're not exactly running low on arrows, so... ooh, restoration skill book. We'll put that in the collection. And another bug texture on one of these chests. This is my favorite. Use all of that. Okay, so that's it. Now we just need to head back to Froki, tell him the job is done for real this time. And I swear to God, if he... where is that howling coming from? If he sends us on another quest after this, I'm going to be pretty upset. I think Araelas would be pretty upset too. Okay, back at Froki's shack. The weather is miserable. He could change it if he wanted to, but He doesn't have anything too important to do outside right now. He just needs to return to Froki and see what else he's got for us. He doesn't really want to... he doesn't want to interfere with nature too much. He's going to let it run its course as much as possible. Alright, Froki.
Come, I haven't got all day.
I've defeated the Guardian Spirits. Again.
You do Kyne proud. Only one challenge remains.
Ugh.
Go and defeat the Troll Champion.
Jeez.
Here's where you need to go.
Alright, fine. This better be the last one. Okay, so Froki sent us back over here to the Ritual Stone and Grey Winter Watch, which is the cave underneath it. That is a troll hideout. But Araelas is feeling a sense of darkness up above here, as he has before. This is a necromancer hideout. So we're gonna make sure this place is clean.
Never should have come here.
Oh, she's a tough one. Oh, she's healing herself. I have a king's heart to take care of that for me. What else you got? Really? Just gonna run away? Jeez, she's really booking it. Did you see that shot? I am so proud of that. That was amazing. Third person view. Led her perfectly. She was so far away. I'm so glad I recorded that. I really hope this video doesn't get corrupted now. That would be genuinely fitting, wouldn't it? That'd be instant karma. Okay, so this area is cleansed. Man, did you see that shot though? That was awesome. Alright. At my age, my arms are not flexible enough anymore to keep patting myself on the back like that. So let's go ahead and get to this cave before my head gets any bigger and I can't fit into it. Bjorn, did you see that shot? Seriously. That was amazing. Yeah, I can't get over it. It was on a slope, too. You couldn't even see the whole body. Wow. That warrior's flame is really tough. Alright. Let's process these guys. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, interesting. This has been the only guardian spirit so far that has allowed me to process it through Hunterborn like any normal animal. Very interesting indeed. No arrows in them though. Okay, Froki. Let's go ahead and check any chests up here though. Oh, there's Froki's bow again. Sure, I've been in here and found all that, but maybe not. Isn't there like a chest or something up here? Well, I thought there was, but I guess there isn't. Okay, Froki, this better be the last one.
Come, I haven't got all day.
You haven't got all day? Do you realize how busy you've made me? Okay, so this is it, right? Do you need... Oh, shut up. Do you need me to go to Starbucks for you or anything? Gallon of milk? Loaf of bread? Anything? I've defeated the Guardian Troll.
Then you finally know what it means to be a true hunter. In the Nord way.
I knew that a while ago.
For this, you have earned the blessing of Kyne, and can count me as a friend. All right.
Okay, so that added Kyne's token.
Dumb as you look.
I wonder if I can get rid of Froki's bow here. There we go. Found your bow. Alright. So I think that about concludes it. So let's take a look at Kyne's token. Oh man, that's got a lot of effects on it, doesn't it? Well, that's because I added a few effects to it. I rooted around in the... Look how valuable it is too. Man, that's crazy. So I rooted around in the creation kit, and I buffed the crap out of this thing. Mostly because... Well, partly because it is one of the most disappointing quest rewards in the game. For all this crap that you have to do, you get a piddly 5% increase to your bow and arrow damage, and then you get a plus 10 damage to animals or something like that. And that's it. Oh no, I'm sorry. The damage taken from animals is reduced by 10%. That's actually a perk that you get when you put the necklace on. So I went in, I took away the buff to the archery damage, and I went ahead and put 50% resistance to magic. That would make him less susceptible to exposure. Things like fire magic, frost magic, and electricity damage, or shock damage. And that kind of symbolizes nature protecting him from its own elements. So that's good. Alteration spells and enchantments cost 20% less, and restoration spells and enchantments cost 20% less. And it also gives 50% resistance to poison, which again is nature protecting Araelas from its own elements. The restoration and alteration spell cost reduction is just a way for me to cover up my lack of foresight. When I designed this build, there was a certain ratio of health to stamina to magicka that I would take at every single level, and that turned out to be a little low on the magicka side. And the reason I'm considering that low on the magicka side is because without these rings equipped, I was not able to dual cast some of the expert and master level spells to hook them up to Lion's Arrow. So what that 20% reduction does is it allows me to cast those certain spells, like things like Stellar Core, which is this guy. I can now shoot this out of my bow as part of Lion's Arrow, which does insane undead damage. And things that I wasn't able to hook up before, dual cast before, like the Paralyze rune. Thrumming Stone is another one. So all that good stuff. Now I don't have to go through and change out my ring every time I want to hook one of those up to Lion's Arrow. So it was just a convenience thing and sort of a way for me to cover up me not really taking the right ratio from the beginning. Also, it allows me, through the resistances, to kind of expand a little bit on the narrative and implement nature protecting him through tangible ways in gameplay. And it also helps cover up for a lack of enchanting. I don't consider it... Technically, yes, I am cheating by going through and changing this and making it more powerful. I would argue that it is underpowered in the vanilla game, however. And I would also argue that I am still much weaker than I would be if I decided to take enchanting on through this character. I could enchant much more powerful gear and be able to take full 85% resistance to magic and buff up archery even higher and reduce spell costs even lower. So that's it. This is endgame material. This is endgame equipment, rather. This is all the equipment that Araelas will wear throughout the rest of this series. So I think that is the end of this episode. It was quite an epic journey, I know. I have a lot of editing to do now. I hope it comes out okay and not too choppy. If I'm being completely honest with you, I wasn't counting on having to go through and hunt all those guardian predators. It's been too long since I've played this Kyne's token quest, just because the reward is way too small, usually. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And next episode, we will begin hunting down these dragon priests and showing off our druidic abilities in high-level gameplay. Are you excited? I'm excited. Alright, well, until next time, hope everybody does well. Take care.